Hey, what's going on? I've been messing with this cabinet for probably about a year and a half now, trying to get this thing working. So, to give you a rundown, this is the Namco 246 with the Jamma B I/O board. This is my Soul Calibur 3. When I got the machine, it was working. The only thing it didn't have was the monitor. I guess the monitor went out, so it was pulled. Like I said, for about half a year, the thing was working. We were playing it, everything was fine, using a VGA converter board with just a standard PC monitor. Don't really know what happened. One day, I had all my machines running, just kind of listening to them in the background, and then all of a sudden, I just stopped hearing Soul Calibur 3. So I was like, oh, that's weird. So I went over to it, and the marquee light was on, the coin door lights were on, and it just went blank. There was just no sound, nothing. So, so I tried fixing it, tried the power supply, tried a bunch of other things. Not really sure what else to try. I've been to different forums, asking different people. I'm just kind of at a loss right now. It's kind of a mess in here. I've just been moving wires, trying different things. It was nice and clean, but not anymore. So let me show you a couple things here. So there was a cord going into the cabinet, which went into what I assume is some kind of power supply with the transformer on it, which I guess was used for the old CRT monitor. And that one was working fine. There was also a power supply right next to the Namco 246, which is the one I removed, thinking that it was just the power supply that went dead. And basically what it was doing, and this is what I've been telling everybody, was that the system would come on, the Namco 246 would get power. On the back here, where you see the fan, where my finger's pointing, the fan comes on, and it gets voltage everywhere. This little I/O board has a little LED light on the little warning sign. It's just a solid green color. But other than that, that's all it does. The DVD light, there's no activity whatsoever. So from the moment it turns on till as long as you want to leave it on, it does nothing. So I don't really know what else to look for. I did have the Soul Calibur 3 card in the left slot. It's not in there now, but basically I was told that there's supposed to be some sort of audible tones. There's no tones, nothing. So you turn it on, and I can show you this when I actually start it up, but basically what'll happen is you get nothing, just the I/O board light. Now I have noticed, and some other people have reported this too, is that the only way to get the DVD player to work is to remove this IDE cable from the back. As soon as you unplug it, you start to get activity and it'll start to spin the disc. So basically you're just cutting off the communication between the board and the DVD player, and it's just starting to get power by itself without the IDE cable. So something's telling it not to turn on, with as well as the rest of the system. So it's got to be something with the board itself. Maybe there's something wrong with it. I did notice when I took the whole thing apart that there was a small ribbon cable between two boards that had a slight missing piece of copper on the actual connection point. So I'm thinking that might be the culprit, but I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I've got my Soul Calibur 3 card here, SC3. And like I said, this thing was working. It was working just fine. And all of a sudden it just stopped. So I'm going to pop this back in slot 1 so you can see what I'm talking about. So when I switched the power supply, like I said, it didn't do any different. This is the one that I put into it, which was this guy here. I don't know the quality wise, but it seemed to do exactly the same thing as before. And like I said, it was in conjunction with the other one. So screw style, I was told not recommended because it just doesn't power the system enough. So I went with another route and pulled out this guy, which is a little bit bigger. It says LG 150 watt, so I don't know if that's gonna work or not. It worked on my Lethal Enforcers cabinet, which is where I pulled it from, and it does have an adjustment knob on it. And I wired it all in. I bypassed this whole unit and just strictly wired it up like it should work. And and I'm still getting exactly the same thing as I had before. No different. I just went ahead and bypassed all the lights and everything else because I mean I don't really need to know if they work. Still got the VGA converter. Like I said, I'll probably just go ahead and post another video if this one cuts out, but basically, you know, I've got the Soul Calibur 3 DVD-ROM in there right now. I've got the trigger switches, the dip switches all set to off. At least I think that's off. Could be on, I don't know. I've replaced all of these cables. I actually bought a new I/O board. It wasn't new, it was pre-owned, but it looked a lot better than mine. Mine had a lot of char spots on the ground points here and here, as well as over here, and it was just toast. So I don't know if it was the power supply that killed the I/O board, but I thought if I used another one, maybe it would work. Clearly not the case. I don't know what kind of Jamma harness this is, but it seemed okay. I mean, all the pins looked fine. This one here I only spliced together because the board wasn't getting a good connection between the Jamma and the actual pin because it was pretty much fried off. So I soldered a new pin on there and then just jumped it to this wire, and it didn't make any difference. So new data cable on this side, new other wires here, the VGA same style, no different. Yeah, so basically that's all it's doing. It's just doing nothing. So I'll fire it on right now and you can kind of see. So you hear a fan spinning, just basically that guy back there just spinning. We have a green LED right here on one of a right below a warning sign, solid. That's all it's doing. The DVD drive is not doing anything. You can't push the button. It does nothing. No activity, no power. Cards in there. The volume's turned up all the way. You know, doesn't make any noises. That's all it does. And like I said, I could take this data cable out and you watch that DVD drive. Look, activity. You can hear it spinning the disc, makes a couple flashes, you can hear it running, and then it just, you know, it flashes a couple times, you can hear it spinning, and then it just stops. And you can open it, it'll act like it'll open. See, disc is in there. Close it up. I don't know. It'll spin again just like before, but as soon as you plug this guy back in, for now I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't see it. Well, basically you get what I mean. So that's all it does. Power supply is working. I checked all the voltages on all of these points. Everything's fine. It's at least 5 volts, 12 volts, negative 5 volts. I can't remember if that's on there, but I think it was about negative 5. All the ground points, all the 5 volts. So I don't know. I'm open to any more ideas. If anyone has any other ideas, please let me know. I'll kind of talk to a couple more people and just see. I do know I've got a VGA converter, like I said. See, no signal, doing nothing. Tried all the connection settings, no different. It came with a Soul Calibur 2 memory card. I don't have the disc or the dongle, but it came with this. I've tried putting that in slots, don't matter. Of course I know it's not going to work. I also went ahead and bought, just to see if it was the drive or the CD, I bought a Gundam Seed Destiny with the card. Didn't make a difference, doesn't even try, just like it does now. I've taken apart the Soul Calibur 3 memory card, cleaned it, Brasso, eraser. I've pretty much cleaned every single connection inside this thing, so I don't know why it's not trying to read the disc, it's not trying to read the card. So, you know, and I tried the other memory card with Gundam Seed and it still didn't make a difference. So I don't think it's the boot file. So I think it's probably just the PlayStation portion of the Namco 246 that's just given up. So I don't know. Open to suggestions. Like I said, love to have this thing running again. It's a great game. I don't know. Let me know what you think.